release all worldly concerns. Because for the next, 30 to 40 minutes, there's no problems that need to be solved. We're not utilizing the left side brain. What we're doing is we're hacking the mammalian brain. But if the thought process by way of the left side brain is active, it may keep you out of the potential to experience deep theta restoration, or what we call in shorthand the brain hack. So you start with an intention, perhaps even a phrase that I'm going to stay awake. I'm going to stay alert. Now, there are many ways to stay alert and awake even when you sleep. They call it lucid dreaming. So remember, you may slip into a bit of a slumber. The body sleeps. The mind sleeps. However, awareness remains aware. And I'm going to lead you through a systematic process of moving away from, again, the worldly concerns. I also need your permission to do so. I need, in a way, you to give me permission to lead you through yourself into the precipice, the point just before you sink into a deep sort of unconscious sleep or get overstimulated with the mind and kind of get fidgety and restless. That midpoint. And that's an essential piece to set up. So your permission, your intention, and then I can take it from here. The first step is to start to hack the nervous system by using what we call 1/8 capacity breathing. So essentially, you're going to very slowly breathe in, and just about 1/8 of your capacity, and then very slowly breathe out. It's going to be predominantly in your abdomen. A couple pointers for this breathing technique. You want it to be as slow as possible. There's no pause at the top and no pause at the bottom. And you want your breath to be as continual as possible. Slowly breathing into your abdomen. It's almost like if you imagine you had a pipe that ran from the floor of your pelvis all the way to the back of your throat. Right at the spine, underneath your sternum, underneath your ribs, your belly. And when you draw the breath in, it runs down like water through a pipe, just to the abdomen. Now the chest is relatively still and spacious. And the count of your breath, it might, if I were to make your breath like audible in a count, it might be something like inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, inhale 2, 3, something like that. And for the next minute or so, continue Some call this sama vritti breathing. Sama, it implies something that's like balanced or equal. And vritti are fluctuations. So you're balancing any inconsistencies in your breath, working out any choppiness. And begin to notice how the breath starts to shape your mind. And in turn, the mind starts to shape your breath. Please complete 3 more cycles of samavritti breathing. Please release all shaping, any type of manufacturing, any control of your breath. Completely give your breath back to its involuntary state. And in doing so, the breath, it finds its perfect rhythm. It finds its ideal rhythm for this moment. And now you're just noticing that happen. You're watching it. You're watching the breath settle. At the top of your natural in-breath, relax. At the bottom of your natural out-breath, relax. Become alert to the sensations in your body. Notice any area that there's gripping or holding. Release all gripping. No holding. Let everything go. Hold nothing back. Release. The more you release, the more you're supported. You're held. You're being held. Let go. Trust. The next phase of our brain hack is what's called 61 points. Bring your attention to the mid part of your brain. If I were to have you stick both of your fingers in your ears, right about where your two fingers are pointing, that's the mid part of your brain. Whether it's an awareness or you actually begin to experience a sense of illumination, like a cloud of conscious vapor, or a star-like pinpoint of light. Allow your attention to collect in the mid part of your brain, and we're going to do the same at the throat center. A cloud of illuminated conscious vapor awareness, or a point of light. And do the same for the center of your right shoulder joint, elbow joint, and the center of your right wrist joint. Tip of your right thumb, a point of light. Index fingertip, middle finger, ring finger, and the little fingertip. Just awareness. Relax, let your body sleep, let your mind sleep. Move your attention to the center of your right wrist joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, throat center, the center of your left shoulder joint, a point of light, healing, awareness, attention collecting there, the left elbow joint, the left wrist joint, tip of your left thumb, tip of your index finger, middle fingertip, ring fingertip, little fingertip, all points of light, the left wrist, elbow joint, shoulder joint, throat center. Bring your attention into your heart center, deep below the sternum, below the actual organ of the heart, at the spine. A conscious illuminated vapor or a point of light. The center of your right side chest, point of light. Your heart center, deep in the chest. The center of your left side chest, your heart center. Descend your attention to your navel center. In the roots of your navel, into your abdomen, imagine the navel's roots are wrapping around your spine. That's where you bring your attention. Point of light, conscious vapor. The top of your sacrum, point of light. Move your attention into the right hip joint and illuminate it with your awareness. Move it to the center of your right knee joint, ankle joint, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the tip of your right little toe. In your mind's eye, see points of light like star-like pinpoints. The right ankle joint, the right knee joint, the center of your right hip, top of your sacrum. Let your attention collect there. A cloud of conscious vapor. Move it to the center of your left hip joint, knee joint, ankle joint, the left big toe tip, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, the little toe, all points of light. Relax. Let your body sleep. Let your mind sleep. Move awareness to the left ankle joint, knee joint, the center of your left hip joint. Top of the sacrum. Navel center. Heart center. Throat center. Brain center. See all of those points of light at once. See all of the points of light at once. And imagine you're lying in the middle of the night, looking up. Crystal clear evening. And what you're looking at, all of those points of light, that's your unique constellation. See those points of light as your unique constellation. Feel the glistening brilliance of each point, and experience the space between all of those points. As each breath, like a gentle wind, a solar wind, a cosmic wind, moves effortlessly in between each of those points of light. I'd like for you to remember where you were just before we came into this session, just before you decided to lie back and hack your brain. Clearly see that moment. What were you doing? Were you standing? Were you sitting? What were you feeling and thinking? Now move 30 minutes before that. Where were you? Clearly see that image, what you were feeling, what you were thinking. Was there someone with you? And then do it 30 minutes prior to that. You're going to move back in 30-minute increments, seeing it clearly, remembering what you felt, all the way back until the moment you woke up this morning, whatever time that was. This exercise helps to unwind the mind, the psyche. In general, we're wound up. We're always forward thinking. This is going to help peel back a layer of resistance, of tension in the mind, and help us to hack deeply into the theta brainwaves and access all of the nutrition on that level. Bring your attention to the pathway that your breath is taking. The rings of the nostril. See the breath as two separate streams coming in either nostril and converging like a V at the mid part of your brain. As your breath enters your body, allow your awareness to travel on those separate lines and converge at the midbrain. As your body breathes out, allow your awareness to move from that point in the midbrain out the rings of your nostrils. Experience that for a moment or two. For mental alternate nostril breathing, when you notice your breath coming in, allow your attention to move in the left nostril. As your breath goes out the right nostril. As the breath comes in the right nostril, and as the breath goes out through the left nostril. In through the left, count 59. Out through the right, 58. In through the right, 57. out through the left, 56. And all the way down to 0 in that manner. A countdown, a moving backwards, an unwinding, all helps the psyche, the mind, any tension in the mind to release and open us up to the vast, infinite healing powers of the unconscious mind. If you lose count or forget, simply start again at 59. Imagine that you're standing in a big open field, and in all directions, see yourself looking all around, and all you see is spaciousness. But as you turn in one direction, you look and you blink your eyes a couple times, and you see way off in the distance the edge of a forest. Your body is heavy, and there's an awareness that you're carrying something, that you've been carrying something. And there's something compelling you to move toward the forest in the distance, a direction, a calling, an undoubtable feeling inside of you, an intention. So you begin to walk toward the forest edge. The grass in the field is about knee height. So you bring your hands down and you can rub the tips of the tall grass. The weather is very pleasant, and it's easygoing as you walk toward the edge of the forest. As you approach the edge of the forest and look inwards, it's dark. It's thick. So you stop and you turn around and look. And you look in the direction that you came. Clearly worn through the tall grass is the path. And there's a moment of doubt. But the darkness of the forest is calling you. And you feel that. You trust your feeling. And you enter the forest. Almost immediately you feel the temperature shift. It's cool, bordering chilly. The tall canopy blocks out the sun. You smell the rot of trees, the moss, and your going is very slippery. It's not so easy to climb over these limbs and these fallen trees and the shrubs, but you continue anyway. The sounds of exotic birds and animals in the distance, echoing through the vast forest. As you look up ahead of yourself, you see a clearing. You're coming to the edge of the forest. You feel a sense that you'll be out of the woods soon. So you slow down. What was uncertain, now you've traveled through it, and you realize that it's quite mystical. But you get to the edge, you turn around and you look into the woods, and there's a feeling of accomplishment. Like a milestone. As you turn to the clearing, there's a well-worn path that goes down the hill and winds up the other side of the valley, and you follow it with your eyes. And it leads you to a hut, and you can see the hut in the distance. And it appears that there's smoke coming from the chimney. You continue to move in the direction you're compelled. Even though you've accomplished something, there's still something that you're carrying. You have that vague sense, because it's a weight. It's a bit of a burden. So you travel down the path. It winds up the other end of the valley. And you can see the door to the hut is slightly opened. So you enter it. You push on the door, but it doesn't move. So you push it a little bit more and it makes a squeak. And the hinges. This door hasn't been opened too much in the past. But you know you have to enter the hut, so you push it open. And eventually, with some effort, the door opens wide. And across the floor, there's the burning fire. You walk toward the fire and you sit right in front of it, looking into the flames, mesmerized by the orange and red and blue and white flames. In the front of your body, you can feel the heat from the fire. You can smell the smoke. On a deep, primal level, you understand the importance of fire. That's something you've been carrying. You reach into your pocket and you draw it out of your pocket and you hold it in your palm and gaze at it. something tells you to offer it up to the fire, to throw it into the fire. You find yourself questioning that inner wisdom. But an even stronger, more felt desire comes over you. It's almost like it said, throw it in the fire. And this time you do. You give it back. As you watch the fire consume that which you've been carrying for so long, a sense of lightness comes over you. First in the head space, clarity, expansion, then in the heart space, a feeling of openness, then in the gut, a knowing, a certainty. Just as much as you had a calling to journey, there's now a calling for you to return. So you get up and walk to the door, pull it closed, and begin down the valley. The same path by which you took to get there. You come to the edge of the woods and turn around and look back with gratitude at the hut, the hearth. You enter back into the woods, feeling the cool air, the smell of rotting wood, exotic birds and animals. But you feel a part of the mystery now, not separate. You come through the woods again to where you started your journey, and you can see clearly worn through the tall grass the path that led you there. So you begin your pilgrimage back home. Please bring your attention to space and time. Remember where you are. And please take 3 very slow, long, and deep breaths in and out, ensuring that the breath and your awareness moves all the way to your fingertips and your toe tips. After I sing the bowl and strike it 3 times, the practice of Yoga Nidra, enlightened sleep, your Theta brain hack practice will be complete. as you begin to remember where you are, there is no rush. Oftentimes, students express that they stay and they fall deeply into a slumber, feeling completely rejuvenated. But when you are ready to move, you're going to start slowly. The fingertips, the toe tips. And you're going to make your way onto your right side and rest in the fetal pose for a few moments, reflecting on your journey. It might be helpful to also jot down some insights, some distinctions that were made on your journey, your inner journey, your brain hack.